Hello, welcome. It is, of course, the Cabin Fever podcast. It's an early one. It's 7 o'clock in the morning if you're tuning our way. We really appreciate you getting up nice and early. We have been trying to get this done for quite a while, myself and Colin. But he's a busy man, I'm a busy man, and this is the only time we could get it done. So we're getting you up nice and early to hear about this guy's business. I have been actually following this guy for quite a while on Instagram. He is the owner, manufacturer, advertiser, promoter. This is a one-man business. He's doing absolutely model. He's a model as well. He's a product tester. I honestly, I don't think I can name a single part of the business where this guy doesn't do. He's an all-in-one show. He is the owner of the West Cork Beard Company. You see him, he's probably got the best beard in the country, maybe even the best beard in the world, bar maybe Santa Claus. That's the only man I think could possibly have a better beard than he has. But we're going to get into it. You know how things go, guys. If you're watching us live, thank you for watching us live. We're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, and of course, we're on Facebook as well. So I've got loads of screens in front of me with my big ugly face on them. So without further ado, we're going to see if we can get Colin. So like always, guys, we're in West Cork, so things tend to go bad with the broadband. So if this goes bad, it will go bad on every single possible scale known to man right now. So hopefully it does it. But if we can do this, hopefully we get to Colin. Colin, how are you, buddy? Can you hear me?
I can. I'm great. How are you?
And I can hear you. And see, look, at 7 o'clock in the morning, we're getting work done. This is what business people and entrepreneurs are all about. How does that sound? Does that sound good? We're getting early in the morning.
It sounds great. I'm up early. I'm ready for the day. There's plenty of work to be done, so I'm happy to be up early.
And come here to me. Talk to me about this. The West Cork Beard Company. It's a unique business. I can't think there's too much competition in West Cork now when it comes to beard competition. Is there much there?
Well, not in West Cork, but in Ireland, yes, of course, and obviously in the UK as well. But I'm always looking around for other beard companies just to see what's happening on the scene. It still is a business that isn't as big as in the UK, for example, and definitely in the States. But it's up and coming for sure. You can see more and more beards around the place. Mustaches now are coming into play very much so. I think 2022 is going to be the year of the mustache, 100%.
Mustache.
Yeah. So no, not much in West Cork, but definitely there's beard companies popping up all around the place. You know yourself, as the demand increases, business people look at the opportunity, that they can hopefully make a decent product and put it out there,
Yeah, I understand completely. And do you know what? And this is what I love about you. You really do. You model your own products. You test your own products. And recently enough, is it 50 days ago, you actually went from a full beard, a full Santa Claus beard, down to nothing. Down to baby face. You completely shaved everything off. That was the first time in 10 years you actually took... Was it 10 years, 11 years you took your beard completely off?
It was 10 years. Like? It was awful. I hated every minute of it. So, yeah, I was looking at the dates, and today is day 50. So 50 days. This is 50 days growth. Went down completely clean shaven. I knew I had to, I have a YouTube channel and I've done lots of videos on that, but I knew I had to eventually shave it off. As you know, my beard at one stage was kind of down to here. Loved it, loved putting the product into it, loved taking care of it, keep it nice and healthy. But in the back of my mind, I knew I hadn't had a kind of a short beard or even had stubble for about 10 years. And most of my customers would be guys with short beards. So I was feeling I was losing connection with what that process feels like. So I said, right, this is going to have to happen. I put it off for a good while because I just, it's not
it
really
becomes part of you.
For sure.
It becomes part of you.
Yeah, men get attached to their beards. I don't know what it is. I'm still trying to figure that out. The whole psychology of having a beard, why they grow it long and big in the first place. So I said, right, it's going to have to happen. Organized with my video guy. Even doing it, even putting the trimmer to my face. I didn't want to do it, but I went through with it, and I thought I didn't look myself. It didn't feel great. I could feel the wind on my face for the first time in years, which was not experienced, just a cooling sensation. And I think the clean shaven face was the worst. Once I got a little bit of stubble, I felt it did look a bit better. Everyone said it took years off me. I actually felt the opposite. I felt that I looked very old with a clean shaven face. I don't know why. It's just your mind playing tricks in you. So I did that just basically to kind of reconnect with how growing a beard is. Like what part of the process do you get beard itch? I'd completely forgotten about that. Is it straight away? Is it after 5-6 days? When should you put in beard oil? When should you start with the beard balm? When do you need the products? So I like, at least now I know on day 11 for me, the beard itch started. So that's when I started using beard oil. So for the first 10 days of growing my beard, I used nothing. And then, I've kind of counted the days when you start using balm, when you start using your bush. So it's been very, 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 like, I've gained a lot of knowledge from it, and I've put that knowledge out on YouTube then just to kind of help guys growing their beard. So it was actually a great decision to do it. I kind of didn't think it would get the reaction that it did. But it's been fantastic. And of course, you know yourself as a businessman and with all social media, you're trying to look for new content all the time.
Yeah, of course.
And I know shaving my beard is a bit extreme, and I did feel a bit guilty that here I am, the owner of a beard company, and if any new people came on the scene 50 days ago, they're looking at me going, the guy doesn't even have a beard, so what's going on here? But I post so much and do my Instagram and Facebook and YouTube so much that eventually they understood what was happening,
Man, it's a great journey. It really is. And like I've been following you for quite a while, and I can't grow. Like, I can grow beard all right, but it just doesn't grow thick enough. And I can't. My skin just gets too itchy. And I said to myself, do you know what? Now I said, before we talk to Colin, I'm going to talk to Colin about everything beards, because they have come into fashion lately, and like it's almost like years ago. Do you know what beards are like? And this is, I had an idea that hit me during the week. Beards are like tattoos about 30 years ago. If you saw a guy with a big rustly beard, you thought of them as being messy, smelly, dirty. Like, they had tattoos and beards were bikers. They were the only genre they fit into. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't have a beard and you look at someone going, oh, Jesus, would he ever just go and shave his face? You know what I mean? Or would he ever not mind himself? Look at the cut of him. He's a big hairy fella with a hairy beard and a tattoo. You instantly thought of that bulky biker with the helmet on top of his head. But they have gotten in sort of lately, like, everybody nearly has tattoos now. If you don't have a tattoo, you have a long beard. Or if you have a long beard, you don't have tattoos. But they have come into popular culture, something huge lately. And I've always thought to myself, it'd be great to have a beard. I can't deal with the itch. That is the problem. My face gets itchy, my nose gets itchy, my lips get itchy, and it's just, it's torture, man. It really, really is torture. Now, to be fair, I have gotten your beard oil, and it does make it feel so much better. So much better. And to be fair to you as well, and I will say this, you did try out a couple of the products that I tried out before on your YouTube station, and we don't have to go into slating it, but it is one of the products that you tried, and I was lacing this stuff on, and I might as well have just been putting water into a bag with a hole in the bottom of it. It didn't feel good at all. But your stuff, it's kind of, I don't know what it does, man. It's so good. It really is. And I'm not just saying this because you're on the podcast. I would tell you if it was shite, if it was shite. I have really no problem. You know what I mean? I've got no affiliation to you right now. But it's good. It really is good. It's nice. It's clean. It doesn't leave you with sort of a sun cream feel on your face. You know what I mean? When you put sun cream on and you get that kind of stickiness, you know, your face just gets tight like that. You know what I mean? You know you have something on it. It doesn't do it, man. It's really natural. It is a great product. It really, really is an absolutely amazing product. You should be really proud of that. I couldn't get any of the soap. I can't wait to order that stuff. That's going to be fantastic. I've watched you make some of that.
Yeah, the soap is very new, so because it takes a good while to make it, I can't really put it out to the wholesalers yet, because I just literally would have nothing left for the online sales. So I've kind of held back on the wholesalers with the soap, and I'll kind of up production of the soap probably January once I get over the Christmas season, and then I'll be putting out the wholesaler. But you brought up a good few points there with regards to beard itch and also regards other products, and that's why I put so much time into the YouTube channel, because I feel if guys don't have the knowledge of, like, why am I getting beard itch? What is this? Is this normal? Something could be wrong with my skin that it's itching so much. I always felt that I need to give guys the knowledge first, and then they can go get the products. Because what happens is guys come across these products, they lash it onto their face, and then they're wondering why on earth it's not working. So like products like I reviewed in one of my videos, they're actually giving the beard oil and beard product business a very bad name because they have stuff like perfumes and alcohol in it, which will actually dry out your skin. So you're looking at this beard oil, putting in alcohol onto your skin, which is going to dry it out even more. And then you're coming away from the whole process thinking this whole beard oil thing is a scam and it doesn't work, because you're putting a bad product into your beard. And like, as I said in that video, you just have to look at the ingredients. It's all about the ingredients. And, one bottle of beard oil had like probably 15, 16 ingredients, whereas my oils have 4. And that was one of the reasons I made it. I wanted something that had as little ingredients as possible because there's no need for them. You know, people feel like, because there's so many ingredients that I'm getting more value for money, but it couldn't be more from the truth,
Yeah, and talk to me about how all of this product came about. Like, I can picture you now in a caravan, a bit like Breaking Bad, mixing all these cocktails together and putting them on your face and stuff like that. Do you have a background in like, how did you get your product? Because I know how hard it is to get a product, even to, never mind manufacture, but to come up with the whole, like you've come up with everything, in fairness. Like, you've started from scratch and brought a product to market. Like, you've done the wrap, you've done the packaging yourself, you've done the production yourself, you've done the modeling yourself, you've done the advertising yourself. Man, there's a lot. There's a lot you've done with this business. Like, this is a baby to you. Like, and you can see it, you can feel it in your videos as well, how passionate you are about your business. And it really comes across. And I have to, like, hats off to you, brother, because you are passionate about it, and you can see it in you that you are. Every time you get in front of the camera, and it doesn't seem fake, it doesn't seem like, oh, here is my product, it doesn't look like one of them midnight shopping stations where they're going, here, look at this will make your beard grow down to your knees, you know what I mean? No, it seems very, very natural, and it seems like very, very passionate, man. So keep it up, brother, because it's great.
Sure.
And I really, really appreciate what you do on the internet, because it'll kick on people as well, even people that may have an idea or something like that. This is what I love talking to the people like you, because you get an idea in your head and you just go for it. And
for sure,
sometimes you have to say, screw it and go for it.
Yeah, as you said, it's like your baby, and as many guys say, or girls that start a business, if they knew what was ahead of them, before they even started, they just absolutely would not do it. And that's almost the way I feel, because you go in I went in completely blind, not knowing anything about anything. So basically I had to learn everything from scratch, from how to build the website, or how to go about, getting Shopify and, dragging and dropping the photographs and all that, to kind of getting the photography done, getting the videos done, getting as you say, designing the label, designing the logo, everything from scratch. So how it happened was, I was living in Spain, living in Madrid for 5 years, from 2011 until 2016. I knew I was transitioning back home. I started a fitness business. Well, I was always known for, kind of being the fitness guy, even before I went to Spain. Came back, started doing some YouTube videos, fitness-wise, kind of 12-minute bodyweight videos. And at the same time, I had kind of broken up with a girl that I was going up with for about 4 years, and I wasn't very happy. I took that quite badly. So my beard started growing up naturally. I had a very, very short, kind of stubbly beard. And then I kind of almost went into my man caves, saying, like, forget everyone. I just need some time for myself. So kind of like psychologically, my beard started growing, and it was my way of kind of shielding from the world for a little bit. So I was doing my videos on Properly Built, and then people started recognizing me for my beard, and I realized that there's not many kind of fitness guys with big beards, and it might be kind of something to kind of, stand out from the crowd with. So I started growing my beard, and of course, come, 2 weeks down the line, you're thinking, my beard is quite itchy now. How am I going to get through this? So I went and got some beard oil from, first of all, I was kind of had with my beard in Spain, trying to look for beard oil. Impossible. It was such a new thing over in Spain in 2014, 15. It was like almost like doing drugs. You had to go to a barber, and they had to tell tell you who to get it from, and like it
Yeah,
was just
yeah, yeah.
impossible. So came back to Ireland, got my beard oil, didn't like it in any way. Too many ingredients, didn't have a clue what the ingredients meant. So I don't know what happened. I just said I can do better myself. So I started with my first beard oil, did my research about, what oils are good for your skin and what oils kind of go together, and just made my first beard oil, peppermint and tea tree. I don't know why I picked peppermint and tea tree. I think I picked the peppermint because it was nice and fresh, and
Yeah.
and I kind of used to use it in the mornings. So I wanted kind of something, brushing your teeth, putting on your beard oil, feeling nice and fresh. The tea tree then just felt nice that it was antibacterial, and I kind of wanted something to kind of feel like it was working in there to keep everything nice and clean.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like if you had seen my website 4 years ago, there was literally 2 products on it. So I used to get emails. From people going, I was on your website and there's only 2 products. Is there something wrong? And I'm thinking, no, that's just all I have at the moment. And I used to email back saying, listen, I'm growing this from scratch. It's very easy, like for other companies to white label stuff, which means they get it produced somewhere else. They slap their label on it and they have a whole range in a week. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to kind of, like these products have to be tested as well. So like these products could go off, for me to go off to the UK with a company, I'd send them to Ireland, but that company just doesn't have an office in Ireland. And that takes about 2 months at least. So like I was baffled that all these other companies were bringing out 3 or 4 products at a time, and I was thinking they're either super organized or what's happening. They're kind of literally just ordering the product in and just putting it on their website. But my website was a disaster for a couple of years because there was literally nothing on it, So it's taken me 4.5 years now to go from one product to, I think it's 14 at this stage. So it's bit by bit. It's about 3 products a year. That's roughly what it's moving at. But because I started from scratch, I know everything, absolutely everything about my business. So if there's any problem, if there's any problem, I'm on it, even if it's on the website. Whereas if I had paid someone to do all this, I'm at the mercy of them then if something goes wrong. So looking back, it was an awful lot of work. Like there was weeks and months where I just got 5-6 hours sleep and my whole life was work. And was it worth it? I think it was, getting to this point, but it was just like, it's not for the faint-hearted doing what I did.
But that you touched on it there, like everything that is to know about your business, and there's like every business person would love to turn around and go, I know everything, I can fix everything in my business. But like realistically, how many of us actually could do that? Like it's great. Like I said, could you imagine now if you didn't make your own product and you had a problem with that? You'd have to get in contact with the manufacturers. You'd have to then figure out everything that was going on in that product anyway. So with your business, you need to sort of grow it like a small flower in a pot and make it into a tree. Because if you didn't, it would just I think if you white labeled, as you were talking about, you wouldn't have a clue about your business, and how would the passion wouldn't come across in it. You wouldn't come out in your business if you didn't do it that way. That's the way I think of it anyway. And that's what you can see. Your character, your personality, everything comes across in your business. And like, that's how you know you've done everything from scratch, which is fantastic. I think it hats off to you.
Thanks very much. And like the confidence comes from that as well. Like you're not worried about any questions coming in because, I can just imagine questions coming in, about products and origins of the oils and stuff like that. And if you just didn't know, it's like a snowball effect. You don't know. Yeah. You give them a poor answer. They question again, and maybe it snowballs into something where you come across as being, like you say, being fake and not knowing your stuff, which is terrible for your brand. So why do it in the first place? Look, I know why people do it in the first place. It's it's a bit impatient. Get it out there, make fast money if you do it right. But like, I've seen it. These businesses aren't sustainable. They're gone in a couple of years. Whereas I want to build something that's there for 10 or 15 years plus. Yeah. So it's year 4 now. So it's like, it takes a while.
I was talking to a guy in business when I first opened my pub here in Bantry, and I said to him, when do you start making money in business? Now this guy is Billy Coakley is his name. He's a local paint supplier here. And he said, after year 5, you start making money. Everything is good after year 5. So I went into him in year 5 and says, Billy, I said, you lied to me. He says, yeah. He says, not year 5. I says, it's 6 or 7. So after that, then I sort of turned around. I said to him, and like 7 years later, I says, Billy, I said, it's 7 years now. I says, what's the story? He says, yeah. He says, but you can't put a price on your journey. And I was like, he's 30, 31, 32 years in business. Like, you know what I mean? You get that old story, like you have to keep going. You just, like, you'll come to dead ends. And in every business, no matter where you're at, you will hit roadblocks. And these roadblocks they might feel like they're 1,000 feet high. But once you break through that roadblock, you get stronger. You harden to it that little bit more every single time you hit them. And if you didn't do everything yourself in that business, then you wouldn't be able to break them roadblocks. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's great that you're able to do that. Where do you source all the products from? Most of them local, I'd imagine, or where do you get most of your?
As local as I can. I've been going more local as more businesses open up in Ireland because, like you said, you know, this whole beard business is kind of new for everyone. So, like, for example, beeswax comes from Dingle. The oils separately come from Wales. I can't get you also want to get quality. And like, because it's a new business, there's guys in the UK that are established for years and years, whereas the Irish guys opening up now are just kind of, you know, dipping their toes in and they're not established yet. So it's kind of Wales and Ireland at the moment. You know, I was getting my beeswax from the UK, but then I saw a company in Dingle open up and got their product, and it's fantastic. So,
that's amazing.
You know, I'm trying to come back more and more. You know, the beanies are labelled by a girl here in West Cork. The brushes are engraved by a guy in Dublin. So, like, I'm trying to bring it back as much as possible, and it's getting, you know, the more kind of businesses that are opening here in Ireland, the stronger it's becoming. So I can start bringing stuff back to Ireland as much as possible, because that's the goal, you know.
That's it, man. You got to breed Ireland, you know. And if you breed Ireland, Ireland breeds you, as far as I'm concerned. Because
absolutely.
The one thing about having a product that's completely Irish, we do have a certain loyalty to Irish products, you know what I mean? Like, if having Ireland connected to Ireland is fantastic in Ireland and in the world. But, like, we do like having our own home stock stuff, like, you know what I mean? We take pride in it. We might bitch and moan about it, but we do take pride. And one of the things that used to always gall me in the pub business is we don't even own Guinness. That really annoys me. Like, Ireland is known for Guinness and we don't even own it. It's owned by an English company. You know, things like that, you know, there's them small little tricks along the way, but it's great to be 100% Irish, you know what I mean? And I love your beanies. Sure. I saw your beanies as well. They're amazing. Like you said, it's little products that come along the way, like.
Yeah, like, I'm a beanie fanatic, you know. I wear my beanie like all the time, and then after like a month I'm thinking, this beanie looks kind of wrecked, and I'm thinking, of course it's wrecked. You're wearing it every, you know, like, you know, a baldy head, it gets cold, especially around this time. So, like, I'm a huge beanie fan. Terence, will you give me just literally 30 seconds? I just have to pop off for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, no hassle, man, no hassle.
Apologies, just had to sort one thing there with the dogs, but we're back.
Had to sort the bow wows. You're a bow wow lover too, man. Like myself. They're like
yeah, man. They are. As we were saying earlier, like, no sleepings anymore. They're banging my door down at 6:30 every morning. But that's good. More work.
They're great though. That's it, man. That's it. You got to get up, you know. We all have 24 hours in the day, but it just depends on how you use them 24 hours. If you don't get up out at 10 o'clock, someone said it to me, and I think it was Kobe Bryant. I watched him, and he said, if you get up at 4 a.m. and train for 2 hours, that's 6 a.m. You have a break then for an hour and a half. That's 8:30. You get back at it again at 9 o'clock and do 2 more hours and stagger your whole day like that. You can get 5 training sessions a day through. Whereas if you get up at 11 o'clock and do that 2 hour stagnant, you get 3. So I already have 2 training sessions on you every day.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and we all have the same 24 hours. It just matters about how you use them. Which is
sure.
great having dogs and children. They'll wake you up at any time of the night, and you could just keep going. You saying you got a golden retriever? She must be
Golden
great fun
retriever,
for runs and stuff like that. Because you're a fitness fanatic. I probably, to be fair now, I have to admit, I've watched you more times in the shower than any other man. Because you do like to do your shower videos quite a bit.
I do. Well, I did that one with the beard soap. I did one with the beard soap, and like it was the first time I'd used the soap. Like that was what direction I wanted to get. It could have been a disaster. Thankfully, there was a good lather, and I enjoyed it. But it could have burnt the face off me if I had gotten it wrong. Because that was before it went off for testing. So once it comes back for testing, the pH is good. That everything is good to go. So I wasn't 100% sure that could have burnt the whole beard off me. Could you imagine?
just it coming out in clumps.
yeah. So
like a Dalmatian.
It's authentic. I want to show that it's real life. Here I am. This is what guys do in the shower. We wash our beard, and it's good for guys with beards to know what other guys are doing, because as a guy with a beard, you're thinking, is this right? Are other guys doing it this way? I don't really have any idea, because you're obviously not washing your face with another guy in the morning or putting beard oil on, So like for me, I want to give guys the confidence of, this is the way other guys are doing it. You're doing well. These are the tips. Use them if you want to use them. And I think it's encouraging a lot of guys to actually go for a beard or to try out a beard. And if they don't like a beard, at least they tried, and at least they gave the best go, and it was comfortable for them doing it. And as you know, some guys will grow a beard and they'll hate it, so they'll go back to clean shaven. And look, that's life. That's what that's what we're all doing, trying things.
But like you said earlier, all these products that are out there, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. It's like I said to you, it left, like when I was using other products, it was like, because I've got skin, it dries out. And you like you said, go back 30 days, you can tell you this, the dryness of your face and everything like that. And it's nasty. And you go and you buy these products and you throw it on your face and you're like, you get like maybe a second relief. And then you're back to that absolute tearing. And it really is tearing. Like, some people, if you don't grow a beard, they don't realize how itchy it does get. And you then you go and you clean shave and you say, look, a beard is not for me, because you've had that bad experience of the itch. Like, if you can get over the itch, everything's gravy. Like, you can get a good one. But I can imagine your products, like your soap and stuff like that, would still work even if you didn't have a beard, because it's all natural. Like, it'll be great for your skin as well. As I was mentioning to you maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, you should do a line of stuff for the beardless man. Never mind the beard man, the beardless man. You can do all that.
It's the one thing I'm looking for myself at the moment. An Irish company that does kind of face moisturizers, because that have good ingredients. Like, going back to you saying you can use the beard soap on your face and body. That's what I do, and I've completely gone away from shower gels and all that kind of stuff, because it's similar to what the beard oil that I tested had in it. Like, it's mass produced. They're throwing all this stuff to preserve it and to kind of make it last 2 or 3 years, and it's just not good for us. So the more natural, the better, I think, with all these products.
100%.
Yeah. And like you said about putting on the oil and it was tearing the face off you. What I found when I was starting off, like years ago with my beard, that you itch it. That's fine. You itch it. You get rid of the itch momentarily, but then you look down at the black t-shirt and there's flakes all over it. It's awful. Like, for me, to get away from the flakes from scratching your beard on your t-shirt, that was the reason that drove me to, like, I got to get something that works, because you'll see now, there's never anything on my t-shirt, which is great. It means that's your test. That's your test.
Yeah.
Looking down, see if there's anything there. But look, it comes down to the ingredients, it comes down to the product, and the product absorbs into your skin and hair, and that's what you want. You don't want to have a coating on your beard whatsoever. You want it actually to go in and absorb. It's just read the ingredients,
read
on
the
everything.
Ingredients. But sure, like it's like everything, if you don't know, you don't know. And if you look at these trusted brand names, or if you're in the shop, like, let's be honest, us men, we're not quite like our female counterparts, where we have a shower gel, a conditioner, a shampoo, and then maybe something to do our feet. So we look in on it and it goes, that'll do everything, thanks lads. And we will wash our head with our face, with our body, with our feet, with everything. Shampoo even, do you know what I mean? We look for the all-in-one type scenario here, you know what I mean? And that's a failure as men. We should really start looking, because our skin is the biggest organ we have in our body, and we like what we're putting on it, we're absorbing into our body. So we really need to take more care of ourselves, and that really breaks it down. We really need to take more care of ourselves inside and out. Us men are not the best at looking after ourselves, so it's great when you can see such passion in you and that gets portrayed, that you can turn around and go, well, hang on a second now, let's even just try it and see how it makes us feel, you know what I mean? Because it's so real, you know. And even like you said there, when you had to take off your own beard, it brought you a brand new journey. You know what I mean? You were well able then to figure out how everything worked and how your product tested and how the average man feels. And you were able to bring that to the table, which is great.
For sure. And one thing was shaving off my beard, you know, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, okay, I haven't seen my skin under my beard for 10 years. What is it going to look like? Yeah. So that kind of told me, all right, it came off and it was perfect. It was perfect. There was no irritation or anything. So that showed me as well that, you know, the skin is getting looked after. Whereas I can only imagine a poor guy growing a beard for even a month and then shaving it off and just seeing the rawness underneath there, I'd imagine. It's not good. But, you know, I feel like, you know, you said about the shower gel and men don't care, they put whatever else on their body. But now we're kind of going to women and say, okay, listen, we have this problem with our skin. You know, what can we do? And like, women are very good at cleansing and, you know, toning or whatever it is at night time. So like, I was talking to a guy recently and he said he went to his girlfriend, or I think it was his wife, and she kind of put him on a kind of a cleansing routine at night. I'm sure like that's what we need. We need a little bit of guidance, which goes back to the YouTube channel again. Yeah. You know, that's what I want to give guys, the guidance of, you know, we're all in this together and this is what happens and this is what you do, because that's all men want. If men can have a kind of a little bit of an entertaining experience for a couple of minutes, you know, and learn something, they're delighted. They're delighted.
And it really is. And the thing, we haven't quite, and I think, I don't know, maybe it's just an Irish thing. Maybe it's just our old Irish dad's way of doing it. Shut up, you'll be fine. Just get over it. Yeah. You know, my hopefully used to always turn around, no matter how sick you were, a hot bath in an early night would cure anything. Like, you break your leg, have a hot bath in an early night and you'd be grand. You walk in the morning. You know what I mean? It's that type of mentality that we kind of have to vary away. And it's not about toughness. It's not about hardness. Like, that old image of the Irish man where he goes out and works when he has one leg hanging off him and his back is broke. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen fellas come into my pub and they're absolutely crippled from the height of work. And I'm going, lads, like, why do it? Because we had to. You know? Like, we have to get away from that type of mentality that we have to be able to look after our bodies and our brains and our minds as men. And do you know who's very good at it online is actually Rory Stories. Do you follow him online?
I don't know. No.
He is very, because he actually breaks down his own sort of mental breakdown and stuff like that, which he had, and he's very truthful about it. He's very he's very passionate about how it happened to him. A bit like your journey, you know what I mean? You can see it in him that he's passionate about everything that he did, and he's so open about it. And like, we don't need to hide this stuff anymore. And we really shouldn't, because like, men's suicide rates is absolutely colossal compared to women's suicide rates. And we need to stop that. And all we need to do is have a chat, because your brain could be your best friend or your worst enemy in a matter of seconds, like, you know, and it really
For sure. But like, I feel like I'm learning from my parents, and, you know, my father had a bar of Imperial leather soap. That's all he used on his body for years. So I'm looking at that as a kid going, okay, I put, you know, soap all over my body, which, you know, didn't happen. Obviously, you know, we had the shower gel and all that, but now it's coming full circle where I'm the guy using only soap on my body. Yeah. But, you know, talking about work, he learned from his father, who was like working day and night as a mechanic. So I feel like we're the first generation now that we can kind of change kind of, you know, our kids' attitudes about skincare for men, or even talking about your feelings, you know, that kind of way. And even, as I mentioned in one of the videos on YouTube, that even people's perception of beards, we're the first generation to kind of to have the opportunity to change that. Like you talked about beards that were smelly and dirty and scruffy, and that's still what my father's generation idea of beards is, because he came from a generation where his father shaved every day. He shaved every day. So looking at a guy with a beard was lazy, and he didn't look after himself. So I think we're in a great period of time now where we can kind of, help our kids in an awful lot of ways, because we have the resources,
things have 100% changed compared to our generation, even to my father. Like my father is 58, 59. So even in that short period of time, there's such a monumental shift in how fellas should look after themselves, because we have to look after ourselves. The days of the man not looking after himself is stupid, and it really is. We have to be strong to show weak. If that does that make sense? Because we can't be the hard man all the time. Like there's plenty of hard men in the graveyard.
Absolutely, and that didn't talk about it, and we're probably miserable, but they just soldiered on, which is admirable in a way, because they just did what they needed to do. But I feel like we've moved away from that now, thankfully.
Thankfully. But come here, talk about this logo. Rumor has it that the logo is you back when you were about 15 with a big beard and a big head of hair. That's what I was thinking.
Everyone says that to me, and I'm like, have you seen my head? No, I did not. Well, look, I had brown hair. That guy looks amazing. That logo.
He looks great.
I wish I looked like him. But no, he came across, just from working with a load of designers, and you pick out the logo that you like, and it just becomes yours then, and it's a bit of fun, even like you talk about the journey. Even choosing that logo was such a process. I put the logo, showed 5 or 6 logos to friends, and they gave me their opinions, and loads of them told me that logo he looked like a douchebag, whatever that means. And I was hurt. I was like, I love that logo. It comes down to, it's your baby. You have to go with whatever you feel is right, because, plenty of people didn't like that logo, but deep down, I felt like that was the one for me. So you can get people's opinions on everything. That's why I don't send out new product to get tested by anyone except myself and obviously the professionals. I don't do it, because if I like it, it gets put onto the market, because I can't put out a product that I don't love.
100% behind.
And you ask 10 people, 4 people will say they hate it, 6 people will say they like it, or vice versa. But then if you still feel that you love it, you just have to go for it. So people's opinions are good in a way, but I've ignored them all up to this point. And it's going well, so I think I'll continue. But then again, the market tells you whether it's working. Thankfully, it has worked so far. But there could be a product I put out that just is
flops.
Doesn't sell at all, and then of course you realize, right, we'll remove that, or we'll change it up and drive on.
But what piece of advice would you give yourself if you looked back onto the first day? What would you turn around and say? Just one sentence of advice, because it's easy for the likes of you now to turn around and look back on your journey, right? And it's easy for, like I said, I've only ever worked for myself at DJing, pubs, I've had restaurants and stuff like that along the way. And you can turn around and you can say, oh, look, it's easy, really, but if you look back on it, and you think of all the roadblocks you've hit along the way, and you turn around and you go, do you know, would I really do it all again? And I think you have to be a certain type of person that does that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, you hit roadblocks and you hit these things. And there's people maybe listening to this online somewhere, or in their car, or wherever they choose to listen to podcasts and stuff like that. And they're thinking about starting a business. But then they hear about all these roadblocks, and they just the first step is the hardest step. You know what I mean? What piece of advice would you give out there? To someone that's saying, will I or won't I or will I, or that type of scenario,
Well, if talking about someone like that, I would say go for it, because I love my job. I'm one of the few people around that actually love my job. And it's because I've built it into something that I love getting up for every day, and you're working for yourself. Obviously, the piece of advice would be patient. It takes way longer than you think it's going to take. And like, even as you're saying it there, another part of my brain, what's the advice you'd give myself? And it would be run, don't do it, because it is just, it consumes your life. And like, obviously when you work so much, other sides of your life kind of, you don't take as much time. For example, I'm single. I don't have a relationship. That's definitely taken a massive hit, because I worked like a crazy man the last 4 years. I wasn't around at weekends. I wasn't around to go on dates in the evening time. I'm looking at that now because I'm taking my evenings off, and it's just kind of a process. I'm building it up now to a point where I can actually, start putting back a little bit. So I would say go for it, because if it's something that you truly love, you'll have it for the rest of your life. Whereas I couldn't even think about going into a job 9 o'clock to 5 and working for someone else and just being super bored and feeling like I wasn't making a difference, and I was just kind of collecting my money at the end of the week. That would just kill, over years and years of doing that. That would absolutely kill me. And that would end up affecting my relationships and everything else in my life. So I've almost reversed the process. Take the hit early, do all the, go crazy for the first couple of years, and it'll be worth it, because then you'll be able to live your life the way you want to live it, after a few years of really tough work. Whereas I suppose the other way, you get to just meander along. You don't kind of really dive into it. It just kind of extends out the agony of working for someone else. It's but also you look at social media and you look at these people that have their businesses, and like they're I'm on my laptop in the Bahamas, and you're thinking that is not the way it is.
That's not the way it goes.
It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. And if you want to own your own business, you have to go through an awful lot of pain, and you have to take the hits, and just drive on. And but like, look, it's great. It's great.
Do you think your fitness background helped you? Because you were saying earlier I only found out yesterday, because I do a little bit of a deep dive in research, and social media has made this side of the job very, very easy, because all you have to do is type in who you're interviewing, and it just drops everything to you. So it sort of feeds everything down. But do you think your background in health and fitness has helped you get through all these sort of roadblocks you've come along in business and stuff like that? Like looking after your body, looking after your mind, like fitness. I boxed for too many years. I'll probably end up with loads of brain damage when I'm older, but hey, look, we're gonna ride through the 20s and 30s and see how far we get. But I look back on sometimes in the business there, and you're questioning your life, and you think back to that time where that training session just hurt that little bit more, but you made it through. That go the extra mile bit, you know what I mean? That one more step, that one more, that last 10, that last 5 seconds, does that had to have helped you through building your own business?
Definitely. I was in the gym. Like, I'm only just after getting back into routine now. There's a gym across the road from me. And yeah, you're exactly right. It gives you massive discipline, because it's going to hurt, at the end of the whatever it is, routine. It's going to hurt for a couple of minutes, like really badly. But you just push through. Like, there's been times where I'm here in the office and it's like 9, 10, 11. Like last week I was up till 3 a.m. labeling and bottling, because I had to get an order out the next morning. And those times you realize, okay, you got to push through. The pain will end soon, but like, you just got to keep going. Then you'll take your rest, and then you'll get up again. But 100%, like, discipline is huge. And to know that it's a process. You're not going to get fit after your first session. It's a process that you kind of go through. You get faster at putting on the labels. You get faster at mixing the oil, and you get better. Like, I can see myself getting better. Even like my labeling machine that I got last year, it's been a little bit of a disappointment, because it kind of slightly bubbles the label. So I've gotten rid of it. So I'm actually hand labeling the bottles, which means at this stage I must have hand labeled 10,000 plus bottles. And like, I'm pretty good at it now, but I obviously need a machine. But like, it's all these small disciplines that kind of, when you are under serious pressure, then like, for example, Christmas, I'm going to my mega pressure time. I'm ready for it mentally, because it's almost like going into a very, very big
tough training session.
trust, or even a final of a cup, whatever. You know what's coming and you're ready for it. So mentally, it's great to prepare it that way. And competition. I'm used to competition.
Yeah.
You know, people are going to be coming at you left, right, and centre regards other businesses, you know, buying for the same customer, buying for the same spot, and I love that. It drives me on.
It drives you. Yeah,
it does, and it helps you. It helps you improve because you know if you don't improve, you know that's it.
Yeah. What do they say? Even the strongest tree falls in the wind. Isn't it? Some old ancient proverb like that. Even the strongest tree falls in the wind. You got to be able to bend. You got to be able to take the hits and move when according to, you know. And that's clear. Sure. Like I said, man, I became a huge fan of you on YouTube or on Instagram before I even got to know you, and I was like, man, I have to get to know this guy because you can see like you're 100% authentic, and that's brilliant. And that is brilliant. You can see the passion in your product as well. But I want to just touch on testing and stuff like that. So you come up with a brand new recipe, you have to send that off, and they send you back what's right, what's wrong, and like a level of guideline. Like, did they tell you there's too much alcohol in this, or there's too not alcohol? I know you don't have alcohol in your products, but do they tell you that there's too much of this, or that can cause a reaction, or is it like they have to tell you to remix it, like, or how does the testing work?
Well, you see the ingredients, for example, in the beard oil are argan oil and jojoba oil, and they're what you call carrier oils. There's never really a problem with those. The problem comes with the essential oils, because the essential oils can actually be quite sensitizing for some people. But because my scents are very subtle, you know, I think there's a certain ratio that if you go over that, they may come back to you and say, listen, this could be over-sensitizing to skin, you know, for certain people. But because, like I said, I keep the scent subtle, it's never happened. So that's their job, to come back to me and say, listen, we're unsure of this mix. We feel like that it is going to be harsh on people's skin, or it might irritate people. And it's good for my knowledge and peace of mind. For example, they check the bacteria count in the product to make sure that, you know, where I make it is all good. So if they come back to me and there's loads of bacteria in the samples I've sent them, I have to look at my process and go, where the hell is this coming from? You know, so stuff like that. Obviously, for my own knowledge as well, getting the pH back for the soap was good. The pH of the soap is 10, which is perfect. I didn't want to be acidic or anything like that.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, it's kind of bacteria. It's like to make sure there's no fire hazard with the oils. For example, you put a bottle of beard oil or a tin of beard balm in the back of your window of your car and head off for 3 days on holidays. It's not going to go in, not going to go into flames. So they test the product in like.
I wouldn't even have thought of that. Like that's amazing, that isn't it? Jesus, you would think of that, like.
Yeah, so they put the product in over 40 degrees Celsius heat. They put it in freezing conditions. They put it in a light room. They put it in a dark room, and just make sure there's no change in the product. So yeah, it's very well done. And like I said, it's peace of mind for me, because again, I'm getting to know my product in more detail. People come back to me with questions. I quickly, you know, remember what happened with that product and go, okay, you understand your product, and it's important. It's an important part of the learning process for me, of course. And the products are different with the beard balm, the beard butter, the beard soap. You know, you get your report, so you know exactly where you are on everything.
Yes.
And thankfully, they haven't come back and said, "Listen, you have to change anything." But if they did, I'd be delighted, because it means, right, I need to adjust. And that's what I'm paying. That's what I'm paying them for. It's expensive.
Yeah. Look, man, all these processes are expensive, but do you know, it makes you think how other products get to market if you have to go through all these loopholes. And like I said, you feel some of them, and you might as well be putting acid on your face. Like you can feel it burning in your skin. Like you kind of go, did they know somebody along the line, or have they gone through as many tests as I have? You know, it kind of makes you think about how other products have actually even made it to market. You know, I was looking actually yesterday on your other Instagram page, the Properly Built page. Your old fella, he loves getting fit as well. He was in his he saw a picture of him there. That's great. He was doing your classes outside during COVID, was he?
Well, no, nothing happened for me during COVID. I kind of I finished last October with the fitness. I'd say
last October.
That picture I'd say was from the big beach workout. We did a few big beach workouts for Down syndrome in Cork, where we kind of got together about 250 people on the beach, and I did a kind of an hour workout with them, and we raised 3,000 or 4,000 euros for Down syndrome Cork. So that happened about 3 years in a row. So I think that picture of my father was from one of those. I think he was in his cycling gear.
Was cycling gear? Yeah,
from one of those sessions. But the fitness stuff was great. But like I said earlier, it's just early mornings, late evenings. It's
hard to balance both.
Hold on, you really need a bit of a team around you, 2 or 3 people. You know, doing it, and I haven't gone back to it because of the whole situation with regards COVID and asking people for vaccination certs. I don't want to do that. You know, leasing a place for a year is also a big expense. You know, who knows what's coming down the line with regards to that. But I'll always continue fitness myself. But I think now for the next couple of years, it's full blast with the beard company because I don't have a choice. It's too busy to kind of go back. So
that's fantastic, though, isn't it? Like you have to be proud of that. Even that milestone is fantastic. Like, you know what I mean? To be so busy, to bring your business to be so busy that it needs you. You know what I mean? Not that it needs you in a bad way that you're solving problems, but in a productive way. You know what I mean? That's an achievement in itself, which has to feel great. And you got another achievement yesterday. 50 days, you managed to comb your beard. I saw how delighted you were. You were delighted with it?
Absolutely. Like for some reason, combing, like brushing feels great, but combing is lovely on a kind of a longer beard. It just kind of glides through it. And I use a bit of beard butter in a longer beard, and just the comb and the beard butter combined just makes it really just feel so good. So like I have a beard brush and a comb in my car in the kind of driver's door pocket all the time. So I just randomly took it out on a trip from Skibbereen yesterday and combed it through, and I literally pulled over the side of the road and did a bit of an Instagram story about it because I was so happy. I was so happy because you miss it. I miss it so bad from being clean shaven. So that was a milestone. Day 50. So I'm looking forward to day 100. I'll go big again, and then I'm interested in a moustache now. Actually,
a moustache. So, that's a different one, isn't it?
I'll go big, but then I'll trim my beard down and go for kind of a big moustache. I think
just the French cools.
I'm not sure. Just to get the knowledge of growing moustache, because my moustache wax is the one thing I don't have on the website at the moment, and I'm working with the formula that I think is good, but it just baffles me. Moustache wax baffles me because it's a little bit harder. It's difficult to work with, and just to kind of get that little bit of a twist at the end, I need to put more time into it. So I'm growing my moustache now, so I can actually test the product on myself and get that product out next year. I was hoping it was going to be before Christmas, but my moustache isn't long enough to test it, so I need to kind of wait for another bit. November would have been a great time to bring out the moustache wax because of Movember. Yeah, but it's not going to happen. But lots of guys are growing their moustache at the moment, and they don't realize that they actually need a little bit of beard oil on their moustache.
The top lip. Yeah.
Well, as in underneath it, because again, they get that dry skin, and moustache wax won't sort out that dry skin because it's, there's a lot of beeswax in it, which actually is great for the hair, but it may dry out the skin a little bit.
Dry out the skin. Oh, yeah. You're dealing with kind of two products in one there, really. You're dealing with the hair and then the skin underneath it. And you like I said, shampoo scenario here, everything goes everywhere, and we just wash everything. I never actually thought that, it being two separate products, having your beard and then having your skin underneath it to make it work. You know what I mean? To have both of them together, and that's fantastic. And you are a man that likes putting themselves through torture. Like I read somewhere you did an Ironman as well. Like
I did actually,
You don't take things handy, do you? You're like a full steamroll type guy. You're 100% or nothing like.
Some people think I'm very intense, but actually I can be intense. But I also think I'm a lot of fun. So I feel like there's a bit of a negativity involved around the word intense. But intensity can be a good thing because you get stuff done. But I did an Ironman. I'd say it's 11 years ago now, 2010, in Austria, Klagenfurt, and it was great. Did one. Thought I'd have this amazing euphoric experience crossing the line after 10 and a half hours, but no, I was like, thank God that's done. I had a big glass of water, and I was like, right, never again, because it's not, the day itself is great, but the training is torturous. The training is like Saturday morning 4-hour run, Sunday morning 6-hour cycle. You've no life. I did it with two guys that were married, and honestly, I thought they'd be divorced after, because they did nothing. They did nothing but train. So like for me, it was just about ticking it off the list, and I won't do another one. Now the business is my Iron Man, because that's where all my time goes into that. And I suppose I'm a bit extreme that way. I like to focus on something and just go full blast at it. So
obsessions. That's the problem, isn't it? If you have that type of compulsive, obsessive, it's not compulsive behavior, but it's like I get if I see something I like, that's it. I throw myself into it, and it can be to a fault where I will concentrate on nothing else. Like I will go tunnel vision, and I will say, "This is it. This is all I'm doing." And like I have to be pulled out of something. Like I'll forget to eat. Sleep just doesn't bother me. I will just go, and that's when I'll wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go at it. I'll wake up at 3 o'clock. Like there's plenty of times where I've woken up with an idea at like 2:15 and gone, okay, I need to get up out of bed and do this now. And I'll go 12 hours till 2 o'clock the other day, the next following day, and go, oh shit, I haven't even eaten. I haven't even drank. Jesus, and it's strange. It is a strange.
It is, but
it can be useful.
It can, but it catches up to you. I can see it even in the business. I go full blast for 4 or 5 days, like 12, 14-hour days. Like I'm in trouble then on day 7 or 8. Like I literally I'll be able to do nothing. So like you learn that like it's great for a time, but to sustain it is the hard part.
Yeah. We have to do. We'll go beards. We'll go moisturizers for the beard list, and now we're going to get into vitamins and stuff like that. That's it. That's what the power. So we'll completely look after you. We'll get the power going as well. That'll be a branch off.
Definitely
for
moisturizer.
For the healthy man.
if there's anyone out there that knows an Irish company that does kind of a moisturizer for men or women, let me know, because I'm looking for something and I haven't found it yet.
Yeah, you will. You will, man. And if you don't, I'm sure you will come up with it yourself. So needs must. You will. I know, man. I think you will. I genuinely, I believe you're a problem solver, and like you said, you wouldn't have gotten where you are if you didn't do all the things beforehand. It's not how true. What is it? It's not how you get to the store. It's not your story, but it's how you finish a story that counts. And look, everything happens for a reason, man. I'm a firm believer of that. So, look, I'm not going to keep you any longer because I'm sure you have loads and loads of work to do. But we do have our kind of our special quiz. It's harder than the Leaving Cert. I will just say that to you. It's very hard, and it gets very topical along the way. But you've got 30 seconds to answer our 10 questions, right? So it's very hard. Like, I'm surprised you didn't prepare for it because I don't tend to tell people about it beforehand. But anyway, here we go. Look, Colin, I appreciate you doing this, man. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm not going to keep you any longer, maybe 30 or 40 seconds more. If there's anybody out there, I can honestly say, go get his product. Even, like I said, I can't wait to try the soap because I don't think I'd be a bearded guy, but I still have to look after my face. And I'm the typical guy that you want because I can't bare shave because if I razor shave, I end up with a rash that is, I look like my face has gone through a cheese grater. That is the easiest way of describing it. And like, I get this thick crust. I sound really, this is really attractive now, isn't it? Like, this is attractive.
No, but it's good for me to hear this because that's what men go through.
On my chin. And like that now, I get a habit of doing that. And you can see it all over my mic. These white little bits, and you're scratching all the time. So I can't clean shave. And if I clean shave too much, my skin just reacts, like it just goes red. And if I leave my beard go too long, I have the same problem. So if you ever want to try anything, I'm always up for free stuff. So throw that stuff my way.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know firsthand. But anyway, here we go. We've got 30 seconds to answer these quizzes. They're very, very hard. So here we go. Which is worse, washing the dishes or washing your clothes?
Washing the dishes.
Chocolate inside the fridge or outside the fridge?
Inside the fridge.
Are you a Coke or Pepsi man?
I would go Pepsi.
This is the hardest question now. This is the most topical one. Does the toilet roll go over the top of the roll or does it go against the wall?
I would go against the wall, but I was told my nephew prefers it the other way, so I'm after changing recently.
Are you an Android or iPhone person?
I'm Android.
In a hotel, do you prefer an ocean view or a city view from your room?
I would go ocean view.
Are you a dog person or cat person? We already know the answer to this. Dog person. Favorite day of the week?
Favorite day of the week? I would say I like Fridays. I do like Fridays.
Fridays. Everybody loves a Friday.
Yeah,
and Bar Ireland. We got the answer to this already. Bar Ireland. What's your favorite country in the world?
Spain.
I'm
100%.
going to go Spain. Madrid.
100%.
Man, look, I appreciate it. You've got loads of labels to do. You've got loads of crazy little sides products that I'm sure you're willing to get at. And I wish you all the success in the world, man. It's great to have a local West Cork businessman that's doing it for themselves. And I really appreciate everything you've done, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out. It took us a while to get this. The only time I can catch you is so early in the morning. So apologies if I've got big black rings under my eyes. But I fell out of the bed, had to get rid of my puppy outside. And she's probably waking up absolutely everybody in the house with her barking because she doesn't like being out so late or so early in the morning when it's still kind of dark. But Colin, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing. And I can say for myself, the products are fantastic, man. Thank you so much for doing this. And mind yourself. All right, man?
Cheers.